Hello, and welcome to Shane's Microscope. I'm Shane, and this is my microscope. Let's take a peek. Today's sample comes from bird bath A. In fact, it's the same sample as last time, which, if you recall, was collected right after a deep freeze. And the only things we saw in bird bath A were some green algae and tiny flagellates. So I wanted to see how that would look after it had warmed up inside for a week, not being exposed to the outside environment. Let's check it out. Under the microscope now, you can immediately see that we have much more activity than last time. And in fact, now we have ciliates. Cilia, if you recall, is Latin for eyelash. And these are much larger creatures than we had seen on the previous observation. And they're very busy eating food in order to support their larger bodies and active lifestyle. Under slightly higher magnification, we can tell that these are our good friends, the hypotrix. Recall that's Greek hypo under and thrix hair. And this one is giving us a good show of why they have that name. You can see that the bottom of them is covered in a thick mat of cilia. I managed to get a very good view of this one. We can really see those organelles and cilia quite clearly. Zooming out a little, I noticed a paratric here. Paratric, recall, is the Greek para, around, and thrix, hair. And at high magnification, I believe that these are of the genus Opercularia, which is Latin for covered by a lid. Oh, there he goes. I never get tired of watching them return to feeding after being disturbed. And we can see it's filling up that contractile vacuole to expel excess water, and there it goes. Here really zoomed in. There it went again, and the other one got jealous, and now it's photobombing us. And changing the focus, we can go from looking at one to the other, since our depth of field is so narrow. Out here, I noticed another paratric. It's got its contractile vacuole going as well. And I believe this is also of the genus Opercularia. Looks like it's playing hacky sack with that little flagellate. And while I was watching it, I noticed something that I haven't seen under the microscope yet. An amoeba. That comes from the Greek amoebe for change, and that's because they don't have a fixed form. We can see, unlike the cilia or the flagella, it's just changing its shape to move. Well, excellent. It's always exciting to see something completely new. Some spastic flagellates in the corner there. And near that paratric, I noticed something I had seen once before in bird bath B. Zooming in, I believe this is of the family Chilodonellidae, And I'm still not exactly positive what the etymology on that is, but I believe it's the Greek kylos, lip, and odon, tooth. And I can see how you might describe the odd shape of this ciliate as a toothed lip. Now I'd like to draw your attention to these objects. Those are cysts. That comes from the Latin cystis for pouch. And I think this cyst might actually still be occupied. So if you've been wondering how all of these organisms got in here and really flourished in a sealed container right after the deep freeze, and all we had seen in there were some green algae and some flagellates, a lot of your answer is in those cysts. Fresh water is ephemeral, and so the organisms that live in them need to be able to tolerate drought conditions, and the cysts are one way for them to do that. They can go into a dormant state and be rehydrated once there's water again. Well, I thought this was a really interesting experiment. You know, we had looked at water from Bird Bath B that had been warmed up indoors, but it was already full of a lot of these organisms, and we saw them increase in number, and we had seen some things that we hadn't necessarily noticed before, but we're taking small samples, so I thought it was really neat to see how everything could come back after seeing very little on the first exploration of this sample. Neat. Alright, well I think we'll leave it there for the day. Thanks for having a look with me. Until next time, keep on peeking.